right, I'm gonna read you guys your social studies test. Oh, about the Oregon Trail. What a great game! Did you ever play that game, Miss Reisman?
I did. I love that game. We used to have fights over it in school.
Yeah, always died of cholera or something like that.
Or dysentery.
Or dysentery. That's when you poop your bowels out and you can't stop.
Super exciting.
It was. All right, so here you go. Number one, Manifest Destiny was what? Was it this one right here? Believes that God was happy with the United States having a boundary of the Mississippi River, or believes that God gave Americans the right to spread all through the continent. Okay, so remember this was the one where you probably saw the picture of the lady and said, God told the Americans we can go to the Mississippi River or all over the continent. Number three, in 1820, what other country also claimed the Oregon country? Was it Britain or Mexico? The third one, how long was the Oregon Trail? 2,000 miles or 3,000 miles? Number four, where did the Oregon Trail cross the Rocky Mountains? The Northwest Pass or the South Pass? Where did it cross the Rocky Mountains? The Northwest Pass or the South Pass? Number five, between 1841 and 1846, what happened to the shift of the political balance in Oregon's country to the favor of the United States? So how did it get to the United States, the Oregon country? What made it change to that? 10,000 Americans had to settle in the Oregon country, or the beaver population in Oregon declined, so the British left. So what made it change to the United States? The next one. In 1853, we finalized USA's borders before Alaska and Hawaii with the blank. We bought this territory for $10 million from Mexico. Was it the Oregon Purchase or the Gadsden Purchase? Number seven, which city was the start of the Oregon Trail? Memphis, Tennessee, or Independence, Missouri? Number eight, how were wagons divided on the Oregon Trail? They had one group that blazed the trail for the others to follow, or they had the group, one for the traveler and one was for the cattle drive. So they had one group that blazed the trail and the others followed, or they had one group for the traveler and one group was for the cattle drive. So how were the wagons divided? Number nine, most of the pioneers walked the trail because the wagons were filled with all their supplies. How many miles a day did they average walking? 5 to 10 miles or 10 to 20 miles? Either way, it was pretty slow. Number 10, is it true or false? Most of the people who traveled the Oregon Trail were poor and uneducated. True or false? Number 11, in the 10 years the people traveled the Oregon Trail, how many blank people died, which is blank graves for every mile? Was it 30,000 people died, which is 5 graves for every mile? Or 30,000 people died, which is 10 graves per mile? Number 12, what disease did the pioneers die from along the Oregon Trail? Was it cholera, smallpox, measles, or all of them? They all don't sound too good. 13, what animals did the pioneers encounter that they did not have in the East? Did they encounter antelope, prairie dogs, elk, or did they just encounter antelope and prairie dogs? So you can have B, C, D, or you can pick B and C. Number 15, what river did the Oregon Trail follow? The Platte River, or the Mud River? What river did the Oregon Trail follow? 15. One way a pioneer could get land was from the federal government. Which of these is not true about the program? 160 acres were given to the heads of families. It was available to all Americans. Was it? Which one of those is not true about the federal government land program? 16. What event on May 10th, 1869 led to the civilizing of the Western wilderness? Was it the end of the Civil War, or the finish of the Transcontinental Railroad? Remember, that means the railroad that went from one end of the United States to the other. So which one led to the civilizing the Western wilderness? The end of the Civil War, or the railroad that connected the United States? 17. Before the 1840s, how did most people travel from the East Coast to the West Coast? Wagon trails, or they traveled by boat around South America? So did they take a wagon across the United States, or did they get in a boat and have to travel all the way across and come back around to the west side? How did they usually go in 1840? 18 is a true or false. 18,847 people had used the Oregon Trail by 1849. True or false? Number 19. How do we know how many people traveled the trails? Jump off towns kept detailed records, or forts along the trail kept detailed records. So when the people stopped, the people who checked into the hotels or whatever stayed, they kept records of who was coming, who was going. So how did we know how many people traveled? By the towns or the forts? 20. How did Independence Rock get its name? It was first seen on the 4th of July. You need to be here by July 4th, or you would not get through the mountains before winter. Remember, they had to go through the Sierra Nevada mountains, and it gets cold in the mountains. So leading to us here, what claims were made by the Hastings cutoff? These were one of these people who took the wrong cutoff here. It would make the trip a month shorter. It would cut 400 miles off the trip. So when they're taking the trip, this was kind of like, was this a shortcut? Did it take a month off the trip or cut 400 miles off the trip? What was the claim of that? 22, the Donner Party. Ooh, they ate each other. What is the primary source that we use to find information about the Donner Party? Was it archaeological evidence, stuff they dug up, or was it Patrick Brenn's diary, someone who was in the party and what he wrote, what he saw and experienced during that whole ordeal? 23, true or false? People were killed in order to be eaten in the Donner Party. You got tasty. True or false? Did they kill their own people in order to eat them? True or false? Or did they just eat the dead? 24. Why did the Mormons move to Utah? Going to the gold country or to escape religious persecution? 25. On the Oregon Trail, blank women were pregnant and the blank of the travelers were children. So on the Oregon Trail, one out of 5 women were pregnant and half the travelers were children. Or was it 1 out of 10 women were pregnant and half the travelers were children? 26. What was the first day that the Donner Party practiced cannibalism? That means when they ate humans. Was it Christmas or New Year's? Here's your gift. You get to eat the tongue. 27. Why did the Donner Party label the bodies? So when someone died, they labeled them who they were and what they were and all that. Was that so that the rescue parties would know who they were? Or was it this one right here? I didn't mean to put that mark there. so that people would not eat their own family members. Ooh. So which one kind of makes sense there? Okay. So there's your test. Good luck, guys. Hope that you do a well job. See ya.